Hi, this is Smita Kumar, and you're watching MediCircle. As we all know, that the world is going through this difficult time of COVID-19 outbreak. Almost every business is getting affected by the same. So, in this initiative, we are talking to leading entrepreneurs and investors of India and trying to find out from them what would be the effects of this pandemic on Indian IMCs. In this series, today we have with us Vikram Gupta, founder and managing partner at Ivy Cap Ventures Private Limited. Ivy Cap is a venture fund which primarily focuses on professional entrepreneurs. Hi, Vikram. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Smita. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
So to start with, we would like to know in this COVID-19 pandemic, how can your portfolio companies better manage resources?
So I think, of course, the biggest challenge that people are facing right now is, the demand has generally gone down, right? I mean, other than the essentials, the demand for non-essential things have gone down. Even within healthcare, for example, people are only taking services or products which are really essential right now. So even if you would see in private hospitals, people are avoiding visiting these hospitals because, they don't want to be exposed to the virus or they don't want to take any chances right now. So in that sense, and this impact is there across different sectors, etc. And the different sectors have different level of impacts. Of course, if you look at travel and tourism on one side, that'd be the worst hit. Anything which requires you to go out of your houses, and travel and virus are the areas which are the worst hits right now. So from that perspective, fortunately for our portfolio, most of the impact perspective, there's a short-term impact, if at all. And companies have even started coming back on track. April was bad for everyone, and May people have started coming back. But I think what we are recommending or advising to our portfolio companies is that, one, focus on your core business, defocus on non-core activities, cut costs wherever you can, and so that you can survive for a longer period of time. And it's important that if you have to cross this short-term challenge, and of course, on the other hand, find synergies wherever possible. So one thing which you've done is that got our teams together and asked them to talk to each other to really find synergies amongst each other. So which is also the right thing to do, even if a company may not be part of a VC fund or an investor which is invested across portfolio. I think one should also look for synergies with similar companies. For example, if travel and tourism companies, they're all facing the same problem right now, and rather than just facing those issues alone, it might be a good idea that 5, 6, 10, 15, whatever number companies just come together and talk to each other and say, hey, how can we fight it together rather than fighting it alone? So those are the kinds of things, from a portfolio management perspective and from the perspective of striving this or surviving this pandemic. I think something that people should be doing right now.
And in your view, how can these startups cope up with this economic slowdown, which has been due to this lockdown?
So there are issues at various levels, right? I mean, at one level, there are issues related to the revenues or the even if they were looking to raise funds, there's issues with respect to finding that capital right now. And on the other side, if your costs are very high, then the issue is on the managing cost perspective. I think, to me, I see this as a good kind of a time to really test out the way the entrepreneurs think at this time. And I think this also kind of validates your hypothesis about how you will survive the worst times.
Yes.
Is your business resistant to or resilient to situations like these? And I've seen even travel businesses, for that matter, have come up with various ideas to really somehow find a way to continue. And for example, I saw a travel startup which, as soon as the lockdown happened, they started campaigning that you know you should not be stepping out of your houses. I mean, a travel startup telling their customers that stay home, stay safe, stay healthy. You should not be traveling. That kind of a campaign for a company
Definitely.
which holds business only survives on people stepping out of their houses, actually going to the customers and telling them don't step out of your houses. That actually shows that they care about their customers.
Yes.
And during this time, if you understand these fundamentals, that you have to continue your engagement despite the fact that you're not generating revenues, make sure that you care for your customers and see if there are alternative ways. And we've seen companies even in our portfolio, even though they were in one business area, they've immediately gone into the model of creating face masks, or helping in providing hand sanitizers, and even educating people on what to do and what not to do during this pandemic, which is not part of the core business, but they uh, they made sure that the customers that they're working with don't suffer in this time, and they want to make sure that whatever value they can provide to them, and if they may not need their products at this time, but they should give them what they need the most at this time. So
Yes.
such
Definitely.
kind of things, approaches really help you sustain longer term, because the customers will never forget that you've done something different in order to make sure that you're helping them out, rather than just trying to keep pushing your products and say, hey, buy my products, don't
Yeah.
worry about what's happening. So I think that strategy doesn't work.
Yeah. Sure. So coming to the next thing, as we all know that an entrepreneur's journey is always considered as a roller coaster ride. Still, what measures and controls they should take while struggling with this uncertainty?
uh, if I understand your question correctly, in terms of what specific measures they should, what you're asking.
What special measures or controls they should take while struggling with these kinds of uncertainties?
Yeah. So as I mentioned, everybody's capacities that they would have. Like, imagine the month of April, when all of a sudden during the lockdown, people would have stopped going out to the cinema halls, to the restaurants out there, to the retail outlets. So, of course, all those people would have felt suddenly that things have become zero. The first thing that uh, entrepreneurs need to think about is be very creative, and come up with some innovation. So these times also push you to innovate more. And in fact, as you say, necessity is the mother of invention. And I think this is the best time, and most of the crisis situations that have happened historically have always led to some innovation, some new creation. And these are the times when you will see a lot more new innovations happening. And I'll give you an example of the new business models which have emerged recently, the last 3 months. Things like aggregation of demands at the building levels or at the society levels, where people earlier used to go out and buy things, and now the buildings are aggregating demands for all the essentials and products. So that's a very positive thing from the new business which is happening. The other thing is that you would have seen a lot of inclination to do uh, or to help people at the bottom of the pyramid, people who would have lost jobs, and people, I've seen startups actually taking the role of providing support whether it is providing free food or masks or other PPEs to the people who can't afford. I've seen a lot of CSR funding going to different strata of society. The other thing is, and some of the things which the funds are doing, for example, we got recently involved in this one fund which was set up for providing grants to startups to help them target their products or solutions for solving COVID-19 problems. So it kind of also pushed lots of startups to really think through that direction so that they can get funding only for that purpose. And on top of that, it has also made our governments to think about creative ways. I think I really like some of these things that the government has come up with, including the packages that they're providing for the SMEs and all that.
Yes.
Yeah, but even things like if the order is less than 200 crores, any government department cannot place those orders to non-Indian companies. Things like those will help more and more.
Yes.
So the kind of things which are very good for the startups in India. So I think that these times throw a lot of opportunity for startups.
What is the impact of the coronavirus outbreak in your life, and how are you dealing with it?
On the personal life front, there are lots of positive things which are happening. I mean, of course, the family is together, and I'm able to spend a lot more time with the family. Plus, I'm able to spend a lot more time on myself, including my exercise routines, my yoga, my music. So these are four things which I'm passionate about, and I'm able to spend a lot more quality time on these things. Plus, I have seen, as far as the work is concerned, travel has completely stopped, and I used to travel very, very actively. In fact, pre-corona, before this whole thing started, I had visited, in fact, lots of countries. And December, I was in Hong Kong and then China. January, I was in Switzerland and Davos. Then I was in Tokyo. I was in Singapore. And then when I came back, of course, I self-quarantined myself for 2 weeks. But fortunately, survived all these kind of travel, not getting COVID-19 myself. So
that's really God's grace on you.
it's like God's grace, and it's almost like going to the war zone.
Yeah, and coming back safely.
Right? So it was like that for me. And but it's also to tell you that how much travel I was involved in doing. And for the last since February, I haven't traveled at all. I mean,
we are not missing all your travel schedules, as we have been rigorously traveling.
Yeah, I'm not. To be honest with you, I'm not missing my travel. But at the same time, there are certain things that you can't do without traveling, right? So, international travel is going to take much longer. Domestic travel has just started, but that's also not going to be easy because, again, you will have issues with respect to quarantining and other things. Making sure that you have all the necessary precautions, and even during travel, you have to take lots of precautions. So one would be you have to have real urgency, at least in the current situation, to travel. And I've seen that productivity through these kinds of calls has increased substantially. So therefore, do you really need to travel for things that we used to travel? I mean, historically, even if one person thought that a webinar or a Zoom call can do the work, just because the other person on the other side may not have got experience of doing it.
Yes.
They could just say, hey, I'm not used to it, so let's meet face to face. Now, I mean, all those people who had been resisting these kind of communication have been forced to do it. Now, once they've done it, they are feeling like, hey, this is great. I mean, I also feel that this is the right way of doing it.
That's a new normal.
Mindset.
Yeah.
become a new normal, right? So in that sense, people are getting more and more comfortable, and people have started asking these questions. Why do I need to travel, wake up at 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning to catch my 6 o'clock flight,
Right.
and
True.
land somewhere 2 hours after that, and then again land 1 hour to reach my meeting spot and just conduct a 2 hour meeting in
Yeah,
the
fully
evening,
exercise.
and all the entire day, all you've done is attended a 2 hour meeting.
True.
So it's really worth it. And at the same time, I'm doing now like 10 meetings in a day. So
Lot of
it's changed the
resource
world
and
in
time.
that sense.
Yes. My next
Absolutely
thing is
worth it.
Action COVID-19 team, which is a first of its kind initiative by top VCs and entrepreneurs with an INR 100 CR grant. It is launched to provide resources and guidelines to startup founders and employees. So what's your take on that?
Uh, can you, the last part I missed again. Can you just repeat
I hope you have heard about the ACT team, which is the first of its kind with an INR 100 CR grant. And it is launched to
Yeah,
provide resources and guidance to startup founders and employees. So what's your take on that?
that's what I was referring to when I was talking about, some of these initiatives, and we are also party to that. And this is exactly the thing which I was talking about in terms of the resources which are getting created. And the good news here is that the evaluation process is done by the private investors. So that way, and not just private, but very professional investors. So I think in that sense, the evaluation process is very thorough, and the people who really need to be benefited are actually getting benefited. And initiative like this, of course, even the government is very happy about, and it was put together in a very quick time, without any bureaucratic kind of hurdles or processes and things like those. And I think this is, you know, these kind of things are required in the country more and more.
To sum up this rendezvous, I have a last question. The market has been fallen down with this financial tsunami of COVID-19. Does it offer a best buying opportunity for all investors like you?
Um, we don't want to look at it like that. But the way we look at it is that it has definitely softened the way the entrepreneurs would negotiate the terms, and therefore it definitely throws more opportunities at this time. So that's the reason, if you're sitting on cash at this time, you will be able to strike good deals. So in that sense, we are also quite fortunate that we are currently on some cash that we can deploy, and therefore we are able to look at good deals. But I mean, the deal flow has never been a problem for us in any case. But the terms that you negotiate with them sometimes becomes a challenge when there are multiple term sheets an entrepreneur is sitting on, and sometimes they become unrealistic because, let's say, if they're if they are negotiating 3-4 term sheets, and one of the term sheets is irrational out of that. So effectively, that kind of becomes a challenge in terms of closing or negotiating
The
that.
deal.
So I think in that sense, expectations have become realistic.
Okay. So thank you so much for your valuable insights which you have shared with us. I hope our readers and viewers would find it really interesting. Thank you for your time, Vikram. Anything else you would like to share? You can go ahead.
No, I think this is perfect. I really enjoyed this interaction, and would love to answer any more questions if you have even later.
Yeah,
But
sure.
yeah, at this time, I think this is good enough. So really, thank you for your time as well.
Thanks. Thanks for your time. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Great. Okay. Bye.
Okay.